Met made it all the way through practice. Hansel skated before practice, so we'll revisit him in the morning, and Murphy is fine.
So you have to be feeling pretty good about those guys getting back to full speed.
If they play tomorrow, yes, we'll feel good about it, but it's still, Murphy will play for sure tomorrow. Vermette and Hansel will reevaluate in the morning.
How much would it help to have Vermette back, just since you might already be down one center?
Well, both of them, it would be ideal to get them back, but you know, we'll see where the factor with us is going to be. We've got 5 more days after this off, so we'll play that by ear. Neither one we're going to put into trouble if we think there's a possibility of injuring things further, but if they can play, they'll play, and that would certainly help.
A long trip, you get home late, you know, feel like everybody was refocused today?
No,
it seemed like guys were still, it's hard not to be tired.
She's groggy 2 days. Yesterday is get home, and you could tell that it's a good thing there's an extra day, let's put it that way.
Dave, we're at the 10-game mark. What are some of the things that you've liked in the first 10 games, and the flip side, things you haven't liked?
I like our record, 5-4-1 with the schedule we had. I think is, you know, we're moving in the right direction in some areas there. A couple of the games on the road, I think, really typified how we want to play fast, and you know, try to real competitive in all situations. They were still making some mistakes on some rush reads and stuff that I'd like to, or outnumbered rushes and rush reads that I'd like to clean up a little bit. Both sides of our special teams can clean up a little bit, so lots of areas to work on, but some positives.
Given there were so many new faces on the team, is this kind of where you thought you'd be at this point, or have you exceeded expectations?
No, I thought we'd be 10-0, but seeing we're not there, I'm all right where we are.
You do break this down into 10-game segments, though, right? And then what you do. So how close did you come to achieving, you know, what you thought you
Well, what it is, there's certain things that, you know, are certain things that standards we set that we achieved, and there's some that we didn't. You know, that's the way it goes most segments, but what it does is we just try to accentuate the things that we're doing well. We want to make sure we continue to do those well and make those staples of our game, and the parts that need improvement, we have to keep working at.
Do you actually look at, we need to get X amount of points in this 10-game segment, looking at the schedule?
Well, I have an idea where we got to get to, but you know, there's different. Every segment is different. You know, you look at, you know, how much home, road, back-to-backs. I mean, I know from the first 10 games, when I looked at the schedule at the start of the year, this first 10 games was going to be, you know, it was going to be a challenge. 3 back-to-backs in there, a 9-game trip. It was going to be a challenge, and I like the way we've competed. And we've won different ways. You know, Schmidt's played really well a couple games, or you know, we've scored enough goals to win a few games. We've, you know, we've been very competitive. So there's some positive signs there.
Identity is something that, you know, seems to come with winning, though, too, and having some guys that can kind of breed that identity. Do you feel like that's, you know, where you, especially when you start the way you started the first few games, is it easier to create that if you have that?
Without a doubt. When you have success, identity is much easier to cultivate through your group, because they know if we play a certain way, we have a chance to win. And there's certain adjustments you make along the way, and you know, some of it is personnel, some of it is schedule, some of it is, you know, where your team's at. You know, giving up too many chances, you got to pull back a little bit. If you're not great enough, you try to push the envelope a little bit. There's lots of things like that that you look at every day, but that's no different than normal. But it's the identity and how we play. The games we've had success, and how we've played is how we want to play on a nightly basis.
Did the fact that you were able to do it with a lot of road games too help even more in forging that identity or a bond?
I think the road trip was very good to us right to the end. You know, and you know, the first game of the trip, we were a little sluggish to start, but we got ourselves back in the game. Ranger game, it was 4-1, but I didn't think it was a 4-1 game. I thought it was a better game than that. The next 2 we win, and the last one we'll just park that one and move on.
Dave, Tyler Gaudette, I know it's only been 2 games since he got called up, but what do you think of him this year compared to last year? I noticed he's playing about 5 minutes more per game this year.
Yeah, he only played a couple games last year, but he jumped in the Toronto game. I thought he played very well. We used him in a lot of, you know, real difficult situations in the third there after losing Marty, and played well, but the next game he was in the boat with the rest of the group.